Matthew Moore's MM Studio. Today is Sunday, August 6th, which means it's time for another shop update. All right, well, check it out. Let me get out of the shot. Look at this. She's not done quite yet, but we're really getting close, or at least closer. So there's a lot of stuff that happened in the shop this week. Let's get into it. Last week when I left you, I had just finished the angled tenons into the mortise for the upper support. Well, this week I worked on the angled bridal joint that is in the lower stretcher for this coffee table base. And to do that, as you see me doing here, I put together a jig. Now, referencing the width of the actual piece, I put this jig together, but as you can see me right here, I'm adding a couple of pieces of blue tape, and that's on purpose. And that blue tape is gonna make the jig just about 6/1000ths of an inch less in width, and that 6/1000ths of an inch is what I want to make sure I have a nice, tight fit. Then I figured out where I wanted this piece to actually fall, and once I did that, I can come over, line everything up, and as you see me here with the Zuki saw, I'm making cuts, and those cuts allow me to know where I'm exiting on the router. It defines the top portion of the bridal joint and remove the waist so I can create the top portion of this section of the bridal joint. And right here, as you can see, it looks fantastic. This whole thing came out really well. Everything is really nice and tight. I'm ecstatic about that. Of course, I cut everything, not only this lower stretcher here, but the upper supports as well. And that was really done, not on the plans, but by eye. I took a look at everything and I figured what was the best balance. And when I cut all that stuff, that's when I started doing the shaping here. Now, in the back, I also did a cut here, and that's to make the back portion of the support angular, and that is a really nice visual statement, I think. And then from there, I removed material, creating pads on the table base itself. So underneath where the base will be connecting with the ground, as well as where it's going to connect with the top here as well. And I made my 1/8 of an inch gap over the table saw using a box joint blade. And I did that because that blade is exceptionally smooth. I think I get a better cut out of that than my dado stack, to be honest with you, and that's why I went to that blade. Now with that done, I brought everything over to the bench, and with a 1/4 of an inch gouge, gooseneck scraper, and a pencil with some sandpaper wrapped around it, I rounded over all the ends of the pads, and I think it looks really good. It provides a nice shadow line down here. It limits the points of contact because the floor you're going to put the coffee table on may not be perfectly flat. And then for the lower stretcher, I did a whole bunch of shaping on this. I rounded over the entire top portion of it at the bench, and I used a large assortment of plane to do this, as well as a block plane to just fine-tune all this to get a nice, smooth, rounded top to the stretcher, and I think that came out really well. And then with the top back on, I had to figure out where I wanted to cut the upper support to length. And I had left this long because I just wasn't sure where things were gonna fall. Once I figured that out, over the table saw, I cut that guy to length. So that's pretty much it for this week. This felt really good. It was a really good week here in the shop. I'm so glad I get to see what all this actually is starting to look like towards its final product. So, what did you guys do this week? What did you work on? What did you finish? What did you accomplish? I want to know. Tell me in the comments below. Now, as always, please subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and hit that thumbs up button if you like this video. If you're watching this on Facebook, hit the like button, share your timeline, and head over to the MM Studio page and like us there as well. And as always, have a great week in your shop.